Hello everyone, in this video I'll explain what are the different sections are there in the software requirement specification documents, and next we'll see how to write an SRS document for the library management system. So first there are many different sections are there in the software requirement specification, and the first one is introduction of the project. This SRS document is like a Bible for any software developer. This software requirement specification document contains all the information related to the project. Actually, this is prepared before starting the implementation of the project. So once if this document is very clear and which contains very in detailed description of all the elements, then implementation will become very easy. So first section of the SRS document is introduction. In this introduction, many different elements are also there. Uh, for example, in introduction, purpose of the project is described and scope of the project is described. And next one is a overall description of the project is described, and product perspectives is described. As I said, this SRS is a document which tells in detail description of what the system is going to be developed, and SRS is contains both the functional and non-functional requirements, and it may include the use cases of how user is going to interact with the software system. Users means clients, how the users uses this system, like that. The software documentation consists of all necessary requirements required for the project development. All the requirements, whether it may be a user requirements, or it may be a product requirements, or it may be a functional requirements, or it may be a non-functional requirement. A good SRS, how software will interact with all the internal module, how the hardware is interacted, and how communication will happen between the different functions or different modules. All these are is defined in the good SRS. So these are the steps specified in the SRS document. So in introduction, purpose, project, overall description, product description, and in the third one, system features and requirements. Under this, functional requirements and non-functional requirements are specified. So coming to the introduction of SRS should provide an overview of the entire SRS. Usually, this introduction contains two or more paragraphs which will tell in detailed explanation of what the project is going to be developed and how it is will be useful for the clients. Like all those things are will be introduced in the introduction section. Next, introduction section contains the purpose of the project and the scope of the project. Mainly purpose of the project is actually the contract between the software developer and the client. So this purpose contains also describe the external behavior of the application or the subsystem identified. External behavior of the application is how the user will use this, and uh, mainly this purpose of this SRS will tell how much it is useful for the external users, and how more efficiently we can use this, and what are the intended audience of the uh, project. All those things are specified in the purpose section. And coming to the scope is a brief description of software application that the SRS applies to the features or other subsystem groups. Mainly in scope, will explain the limitations of the system or areas of the business and what to do, what the system will do or what the system not do to. All those things are specified in the scope. So next step is overall description. Overall description of the project is defined here. This defines the relationship of entire spectrum of the products, and it defines who will be responsible for the product and what business is purpose it serves. It also defines what interfaces it may have to other systems. So here this overall product description in a detailed manner is explained here in this section. So again this section contains 4 or 5 paragraphs which will tell in detail description of how the system works in a step-by-step manner and what is the relation is there from one step to the another step and how the flow is going on from one stage to the another stage, uh, but not in a technical way. In overall general description of the project is described here in the overall description section. After that, under this, there are two main sections are there. One is functional requirement section, and the one is non-functional requirement section. So, functional requirements completely tells about in a technical point, and non-functional requirements will tell what are the goals or what are the feature, what are the uh, properties the system must have. Those will be explained in the non-functional requirement section. So functional requirement document defines the functionalities of the system or the subsystems. Here we won't develop the system at a time or in a single module. Here generally we develop the systems in a sub module ways. So each module is defined in a detailed manner and how the modules are interacted and how the data flow is going from one module to another module. All these things are explained in detailed way here in the functional requirement section. So these are the software capabilities that must be present here in order for the user to carry out the services provided by the feature or to execute the use cases. What use case is? Use case is a single functionality which we can implement. It also include how the product should respond to anticipate or error condition or invalid inputs. Everything. Yeah, first we develop a single functionality module, and under that what are the what are the procedures are there or what are the data is there. If something anticipated, then what error conditions we have to display, or if invalid inputs are passing to that function, then what to do. Everything will be described in the functional requirement section. And coming to the non-functional requirement section, these are the properties that the system must have, such as like performance of the system or reusability of the system or usability, how it is user friendly, etc. All those things are specified in the non-functional requirements in a detailed manner. Performance means how fast it is executing, and reusability means can we add a few more modules in the future, or is it usable to any type of users, or is it a user friendliness software or not. Just by seeing that system, anyone can understand and they must be in a position to use it. Non-functional requirements do not affect the basic functionality of the system, but tells how efficient the system is. Even if the non-functional requirements are not met, the system will still perform its basic purpose, but not at its not at its maximum level. So it will perform the basic needs, but not in an efficient manner. So these functional requirements are also very important uh, while designing the SRS. And next is develop software SRS for the library management system. Here we will see what is the purpose, scope, and description of library management system, and what are the functional and non-functional requirements. And purpose of this contains a description of the project, which specifically tells how the library management system works, and in scope will tell how much efficient it is, or is there any updation is there in the future, then how efficient it will work, all those things, or is there any limitations are there in the system, all those things, limitations on issuing books or fine on keeping a book more than 1 month from the issue date, these limitations or feedback related things to adding some new books to the library, all those things are specified in the scope section. And in introduction part, we also define some definitions, acronyms, and abbreviations we used in the SRS document. This will make anyone these definitions, acronyms, and abbreviations makes anyone makes more comfortable while reading this SRS document. And in overall description, as I said, main objective of this library management system is book issuing, book return, or current, if any dues are there, all those things will be described in a detailed manner. Main functional requirements of this library management system is book entry is one functionality, register student and is one other, book issue and book return. These four are the main functional requirements. And non-functional requirements of the library management system is availability requirement is that that book is available uh, whenever a student needs, whether the book is available or not. Accuracy is another one, and reliability. So these are the main non-functional requirements the library management system should satisfy. And user characteristics, we have three levels of user. User modes in the user module. In this user module, user will check the availability of the book, issue books, reserve book, return books, find books. And next level of users are library module. Here library people, library system contains add new book, remove book, update details of books will taken care by the library system. And next one is administration module. In this module, administration, register user, entry book details, book issue are done by the registration. So like in SRS, everything from functional requirements to the non-functional requirements and the use cases and how the use cases are interacted with each other, and how the data is flowing from one use case to the another use case, and in detailed description of everything of the system is explained in the SRS document. It should be like that. Thank you.